What's up? Welcome back. For this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to take you through one of my leg days, starting with my dynamic warm-up. I always try to make sure that my body is fully warmed up before I lift. Whether it's upper body or lower body, for me that means staying mobile, getting blood flowing, and just getting everything moving. Before this, I did about 5 minutes on the treadmill, no incline, just a moderate pace, and then got right into it. To start off the workout, I went with back squats. I personally prefer a low bar stance, but some people prefer a high bar. Either way works, as long as you're squatting, you're doing something right. Squats are one of the hardest movements there is, so I try to do them as often as I can, just to get out of my comfort zone. It's also a lift that you can progress on pretty quickly. Here I started with just the bar to get warmed up and make sure my depth is where I want it. After that, I moved up to a plate, 135, took a sip of water, got myself set, and made sure I was bracing properly. Your back is your platform for everything, so I always try to make sure it's activated. You'll even see me do some pull-ups between sets just to get blood flowing there, because even though the weight is on your legs, your back is still supporting everything. From there, I moved up to 2 plates, 225. I planned for this to be a warm-up set, aiming for around 8 reps, but once I got there, it felt closer to a working set, so instead of stopping early, I pushed it a little further to make sure I wasn't wasting any reps. That ended up being my first working set. Since I've started lowering my calories and my carbs, I've also reduced the amount of working sets I do per lift. Right now, I typically stick to about 2 working sets per movement, so if I'm training chest and doing 3 exercises, that would be about 6 total working sets. I apply the same idea across all muscle groups. Just had to get the perfect dap as well. After that, I worked my way up to 275. I had to bail the first attempt, I just wasn't feeling it. But then I got it for 2. Some days you feel strong, some days you don't. That's just how it goes, so I'd rather play it safe than force something that isn't there. Then I dropped the weight down slightly to something more manageable and focused on hitting depth and controlling the movement. I always try to prioritize range of motion on my lifts. That's where you're going to see the most progress, controlling the weight while still challenging yourself. One more. Next, I moved into Romanian deadlifts. At this point, I'm already warmed up on squats, so I can jump right into it with a plate. For pulling movements like RDLs, I tend to move more weight than I do with squats. It just comes down to anatomy. I've got longer femurs, which makes squatting a bit more difficult for me, but RDLs tend to feel more natural. Everyone's built differently, so certain lifts are going to feel better depending on your structure. For RDLs, I focus on keeping the bar close to my body the entire time, touching my quads, knees, and shins. You'll see some lifters dragging the bar so close it leaves marks, but the goal isn't to use it for leverage, it's just to maintain proper form. I like to think of it as pushing a door closed behind me with my hips. That cue keeps everything controlled, at least for me. After that, I moved into accessory work. I usually do leg extensions and hamstring curls, and here I'm using a single leg extension machine. This is actually the first one I've used like this, and I've been enjoying it a lot. The weight doesn't go super heavy, but it's still enough to challenge me with good form, which is what matters. And when I'm doing single leg work, I try to match the same number of reps and intensity on both sides. Even if one leg is weaker, I'll stop early just to make sure I'm progressing evenly.
The way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Now that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Let me tell you, damn guys ain't dumb. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your thumb. We got to install microwave.
I like to superset these with double leg extensions. That just means going from one movement to another with little to no rest. So after finishing one leg, I go straight into the next movement. I'll usually push these to higher reps, around 20 or more, just to really burn everything out. At this point, the legs are already primed from squats and RDLs, so this is just about making sure they're properly done for the day. After that, I'll move into calves, abs, and sometimes a bit of posing. It's usually nothing too crazy, so I just montage it together. To finish the workout, I like to do some static stretching. That's your typical hold your toes type stretching. I'm naturally pretty flexible, so if I can't touch my toes, I know it's time to get back into stretching more consistently. And it helps a lot with recovery, especially after leg days, and just like everything else, it gets easier the more you do it. So that's the workout. I took a slightly different approach with this video, and I'm gonna see how it works. I might continue doing it this way, maybe even start talking more directly in the videos. And I think it's important to say that this channel isn't just for school. It is a school project, but it's also something I wanna look back on. It helps me track what I'm doing in the gym and see how much I've progressed, as well as sometimes looking back helps you move forward. So once again, if I haven't said it already, thank you for watching. I've kind of been on a 2-week upload schedule without even realizing it. So I'm going to try to stick to that. I'll also be posting more on Instagram and TikTok in between, although I've kind of fallen off the horse in that regard. I'm terrible with social medias. I'm trying to get better. It was kind of my New Year's resolution, and I've been doing a bad job of sticking to it. So I'd like to try and take my own advice and, commit and actually do it. So thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for more.